And then back to Iguodala to the rim. Oh, great block. James out of nowhere, skies to the rim. Boyd took the advantage and played off from inside the center square. Boyd kicked the goal. Boyd kicked the goal from inside the center. Here's Aloisi for a place in the World Cup. He's hands right back up.
Live it, breathe it, love it. All sports, double coverage.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the great man, Sauce. How you going, brother?
I'm good. I'm on top of the world, mate. I'm on top of the world. Arsenal's through to the quarterfinals in the Champions League. We made it hard for ourselves, and we got the job done in the end on penalties, nonetheless, this morning. But credit to FC Porto. We'll talk about it a bit later in the show. But there's many things going on this week, and we've got a lot to talk about. And ladies and gentlemen, you'll be happy to know, stick around for Hobby Talk because we may have found the lemon of the year. We might have to close all nominations. We'll give other lemons, but we may have found the lemon of the year right here this week. So make sure you stick around because it's going to be...
Stick around, definitely. Magda, welcome to the show on either YouTube or Facebook. And welcome to Cage, who's actually joined in via Instagram. So hello, Cage. It's been a while. Hopefully you are well. We're going to have to get you back on the show at some stage. Just talk shit, talk sport, talk the hobby, talk whatever you want. I better be winning Lemon of the Year. Cage said, I better be winning Lemon of the Year. What's up, down under? Not much. Good weather, poisonous snakes, deadly spiders, same
bears.
Old shit. Drop bears, kangaroos beating this up every day. Same old shit. Different day. Exactly. Global, welcome. Global, you got to join our Supercoach League, mate. So Zachary Lemura, welcome as well on Instagram. So we've got a few people tuned in at the moment. Sauce, we're going to get straight into it because you got something you want to talk about, all right? Because it was a point of contention, all right? It was a point of contention. You're top 25 under 25. It was a bit controversial. I think that's safe to say. And you wanted to talk about a guy that you put on that list, all right? Now, you put him on the list. I better make sure I get this correct because I don't want to...
I think he was in the top 5. I had him.
I think you did. You had him. Oops, not there. This is your one. You had him at 3 on your list, all right? And that is Paolo Banchero from the Orlando Magic. So you got some stuff you want to talk about with old Paolo.
Well, I think he needs to be given his flowers or his dues, as they like to say, because he's having a phenomenal season. His team's sitting, in the top 5 in the Eastern Conference. He's in his second year, which traditionally we see with guys, they have what we call the sophomore blues. They have a firing first season, come out like a house on fire in their rookie season. Then the scouting reports out on them. Teams understand how to play them. They scheme for these guys, but he's just gotten better. His ball handling's gotten better. His shooting ability's gotten better. We knew he could get to the line. He's still doing that at a good clip. He's averaging 23 points a game, 7 3-throw attempts a game, steal a game, 5 assists a game, which is up on nearly 2 assists from last year. His shooting from the 3-point line is up from 30% to 36% from his rookie season. So he's just gotten better. And it's his second season, don't forget. His second season, and he's 21 years old. So, for me to have him at number 3 on I think Wemby probably, is going to be moving up in seasons to come, and we'll revisit this maybe in another 12 months or 2 years from now where it sits, and we might redo the list again. But people need to start seriously, it's funny because I've seen someone, giving shit to Paolo Banchero saying, he's not even that good. Mate, he's 21 and look at what he's doing. Like, how can he not be that good?
He's a big guy, too.
He's 6'10". He's 6'10". His shoulders. I mean, look at his shoulders. He looks like he's already been in the league for 4 seasons. He looks like he's already had 4 preseasons, under his belt. But
he's
he's only
carrying
had
the
one.
Orlando Magic. He's carrying the Orlando Magic.
He is carrying the Orlando. He is. But look, I think, don't underestimate him. He's a very, very top talent. And yeah, he's having a great year. And
Cage agrees with you, Source. He says Paolo's having a killer year, but getting no love, flying under the radar, and he is turning the Magic into a winner. So,
and that franchise is building steadily. They've got young pieces. Do I think they're going to do anything this year? No, they probably make it to the playoffs and get bounced in the first round. I'll be honest with you, just for lack of experience and things like that. But you're looking at young players. If you're talking about the hobby and guys you want to, buy and purchase cards of and hold on to and watch their careers flourish, Paolo can be that guy. He definitely can. And, he's 21. What's to say he even stays in Orlando his whole career? He might get poached by a top franchise. The Bostons might go after him. The Lakers might go after him. And then what happens to his cards? So think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Paolo Banchero, he deserves to be in the top 5 on that list. I had him at number 3, and just Luka above him and Ant-Man above that. And there's another one, contentious one, which, people weren't happy with, me putting Ant-Man above Luka. But he proved my point with a game-winning block where he smacked his head on the rim, Anthony Edwards. How many game-winning blocks or game-winning defensive plays is Luka Doncic going to have over his career? Could probably count it on one hand. Anthony Edwards, I'm telling you, he's another level. Luka's a brilliant offensive player, but just defensively.
Kate said, here is a question. Woke. He's getting no love from ESPN. Are his cards really cheap? ? I don't know about Banchero. I'm actually gonna rebut you on the Ant-Man one. Like, fuck, count out on your hands how many times Ant-Man can get a triple-double and help his team win in consecutive games. So, wow, not woke, he said.
Come on, bro. Come on. Westbrook's done it. He's done it all before. He averaged a triple-double for a season. There you go. And they won a lot of games that season, didn't they, the OKC?
But we're talking about Luka the Don.
My only concern
with Anthony Edwards.
That will ruffle feathers. No, I actually
don't.
My
only concern with Anthony Edwards is some of those games. You look at his box score and you watch him play, and I don't think for a guy that has like those Jordan quality / Kobe qualities, there hasn't been enough of him, like when the game's on the line. Did I drop out? Someone dropped out. Internet's back.
Someone dropped out.
We're back.
Yeah,
You there, Source?
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, no, sorry. It just dropped out.
Oh, Doma's internet's, I think, shitting it. I reckon. Or it could be mine. I'm not sure.
Naz Reid.
Doma, it's usually my internet that's dropping out in and
out.
Am
I back? Can you hear me?
You're back.
Yeah, but
you're back.
But like Ant-Man, like they have to defer to Naz Reid. Like in these other duds.
Look, I mean, there was a few games where he did take over the game. And when I watched him against the Lakers, he did try to take over the game late and he missed some shots. But you're going to have that, right? You're going to have that. But I just think he has that ability to, and I think he's still growing. So I think he still has that ability to take his game to another level. It'll be interesting to see in the playoffs, how he handles, the playoff atmosphere, the playoff pressure, the playoff, the way that the refs put the whistle away and it's tougher defense.
They're gonna have a lot of eyes on him, Source. A lot of eyes on him. And I'm telling you, I'll be judging him as harshly as I judge Karl Anthony Towns. That's just me. He's your boy. I like him a lot too, Ant-Man, yeah? He's your boy. You put him at number 1. But I'm looking at him as, well, we said you never win if Karl Anthony Towns is on that franchise, and that's fair enough. But if he's getting all the ball and getting all the shots and they don't win, I'm putting all the blame on Anthony Edwards. That's just me. So we'll see. They're not doing shit in the playoffs anyway, in my opinion. So, but I just want to see how they play in those 7-game series. When they're actually tested, they're going to be tested. And I want to see their mental fortitude and their solidarity as a ball club.
It'll be interesting because, as we know, the 7-game series, it's a chess match. There's changes game to game. Defensive schemes change.
Who's the coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Well, whoever he is, he better turn into Doc Rivers if they get bounced out of the playoffs early, and he better turn into a bus driver because he's got to fucking run over one of those 3 idiots. I'll tell you, he has to run over either Gobert, he got Rudy COVID, and then freaking Ant-Man, Michael Jordan, and Karl Anthony Soft. He's just no good. Cage said, "I'll never see Ant-Man call for the ball at crunch time. Need to see that before I buy him." That's fair.
Chris Finch is the coach.
Chris Finch, you're going to turn into Doc Rivers. Unless Doc Rivers just becomes Doc Rivers and he gets in his bus and runs over Giannis when they get bounced out in the East. So that'll be funny. I'm looking forward to what's going to happen in the playoffs.
That is going to be hilarious. When the Bucks bounce out in the playoffs, who does he throw under the bus this time, Doc Rivers? That's the question.
It's going to be hilarious. Welcome to Emilio, Julio. Who else is in here? That's everyone. Anyone else jump in here? No one else. Bucks need to win another chip, says Magda. Ant-Man's his favorite player to watch. Clippers are the best team in the NBA right now. Well, there's another team in LA, and I'm going to throw back to Source because he's come with some fire this week. Are the Clippers the best team in the NBA? Yes, but are they the best team in the West? Who knows? Because Source has got an interesting stat, and this comes down to something that he always says when it comes to the playoffs. You're going to have to beat this guy 7 times in a series. And the way they're tracking, as long as they're not playing Denver in the first round, as Source is about to explain, it might be a bit of a difficult task for teams.
The Lakers have beat. Hang on, I've got the stats here. The Lakers have beat 9 of the top 10 teams in the NBA. They're 1-1 against Boston, 3-1 against OKC. They're 0-3 against Denver, so that's the bogey side. We are shocking against Denver. They have our number, that's for sure. 1-1 against Minnesota, 3-1 against the Clippers, 1-0 against Milwaukee, 1-0 against Cleveland, 2-1 against New Orleans, 1-1 against the Knicks, and 3-2 against Phoenix. Doma. The Lakers have good a chance of any if they can continue playing the way they play. I'm not saying to win the championship, but you don't want to face you don't want to play LeBron in a 7-game series, right? And if D'Lo can keep up his play, it's also on D'Lo's head and AD. These guys, they have to keep up their level of play. But I'm telling you, those guys at the top. The Lakers get there. We're sitting in 9th. We get to maybe we get past the plane. Who knows? I think that's the goal for us to try and get to that 6th seed, so we don't have to be in the plane. Yeah. But even if we are, we finish 8th and we have to come up against who's number 1 in the West at the moment. Is it OKC?
Minnesota. I thought it was Minnesota.
Minnesota or OKC. We can beat them in a 7-game series. I'll tell you that right now. We can beat them. I'm confident.
Gee, look at he's cheating. Look at the lid's off.
Denver's the only team that can maybe.
Mate, what can I say, Global? Mate, they're gonna get Jared Vanderbilt back, so they're surely gonna win the chip. The Lakers, their best defensive player. He hasn't played all season.
We are not winning the championship. I'm telling you right now, we are not winning the championship. But what I will say is, you don't want to face us in a 7-game series. I'm just
Cage said he goes, you got to be scared of Rui Hachimura in the playoffs, yeah? Get out of here. Lemon alert for you.
Mate, it's not a Rui Hachimura. It's all about Austin Reeves. You got to be.
It's Rui, who's your mama.
It's all about Austin Reeves. All right. He'll put you in a spin cycle.
I'll tell you what. If the Lakers do absolutely anything in the playoffs, I'll celebrate. For the fact that LeBron will get to 50,000 points, I'll be happy. City will flog Arsenal. Says positive. That's come out of nowhere. We're not even up to EPL yet. Nuggets are a solid team.
We get to the
let us get to AFL first. All right.
That's enough NBA.
Julia says, "Well, don't diss my boy Rui." Yeah, you're an idiot. You've lost the plot. I'll forgive you. I'll forgive you because I know what's coming later on in the show, and it's going to be absolute. It's going to be all time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be some all time double coverage, literally content. I can't believe some of the shit that's happened in the last week. I've been so excited for this episode. There's just peanuts everywhere. I love it. I love it. Absolute just idiots. Let's get to the AFL because we do have to review the week at hand because we actually had some game source. Round 0, the greatest thing of all time, where 8 teams play and 10 don't, and we've got 400 buys in the season. Anyway, it is what it is. It was good to actually have the season back. Start off with the Swans against the D's on Thursday night. Swans get the job done by 22. Undermanned side too, I might say. I was actually quite surprised. I went with the D's in this one. I think you might have as well last week's source. They were undermanned. No Mills, no Parker. They had a few outs, and they just got the job done. They had guys step up, like Matty Roberts is a rookie, stepped up. Isaac Heaney played through the middle, put on a clinic. So D's are the problem, I think. Would you agree, Source?
It's the D's we seen last year, bombing it in long, hoping for the best. You know, forgetting how to lower the eyes, hit up targets. You know, they won enough of the ball. They did well around the midfield. They just turned over the ball going inside 50. They wasted chances in that first half, and then came back to bite them later on in the game. I still think the D's can be a threat, but if they just refuse to fix their issues going forward, they are going to get nowhere like they got nowhere last season. Because we've seen when push came to shove in the finals, they did the same thing, bomb it long, and they had against 2 they played last year when they got knocked out. They had, I think, 20 more inside 50s than the team, and they lost the game. Which is just unforgivable. Unforgivable, Dom. I mean, when you look at that midfield, you go, geez, that's a good midfield. You look at that back 6, you go, you know what? That's a good back 6, right? It's just that where those back 6 and midfielders move forward into that forward line, and they've still got some guys to come back in that forward line, the ball use into the 450 is putrid. Absolutely putrid. And if it remains that way, they are getting nowhere. I think they can still make the 8. They'll still win probably 14 games this season. They're still better than a lot of sides. But, geez, that ball use going forward is terrible. Credit to Sydney, undermanned, guys out, new guys in, and maybe this is the Sydney rollover that we see. I mean, they're so good, the Sydney Swans, at just refreshing that list and going again. You're very rarely seeing them down in the bottom 2, bottom 3 teams in the league, are you? Right? They just find ways, refresh the list, bang, bang, and here we go. Sydney Swans back in the 8 this year. Put it in your books.
On the money. You're on the money. They played so well. It was unreal, to be honest. Melbourne in a bit of strife, I think. New Card World, welcome on Instagram. Mint Collectibles, welcome. Jules says Gorn might be washed. That's a bit of a stretch. I just think Grundy came up and trained against him for a whole season, and he knows his weaknesses, and he just gave him a bath. Simple as that. So
he would add a chip on his shoulder, Grundy.
Yeah, he's got a chip on his shoulder too. Correct. The lizard is a weapon. These are very sloppy with the ball in hand. Says Global. Positive says Carlton with the bicep, the pump up. They were down by as much as 48 points in this game against the Lions.
They were paying 57-1 at halftime to come back for the win. Yes, you heard that right.
You backed them.
No, I didn't. I did not back them because I was watching the Storm. Beat the Penrith Panthers.
Mate, I had full belief in the Blues, as you would know, when I messaged you halfway through the second quarter and said this game is over. But and I watched the first 3 quarters, and then I had to go drive somewhere. Where would I go Friday night? I went somewhere. I rocked up. I drove up to our holiday home. Got there, and I said to the missus on the way there, I was like, can you just check the the footy scores. And my wife's not really into footy at all, as you know, Sauce. She was just like, what the hell? I said, mate, if you don't want to check the scores for me, at least just go on Facebook. There'll be some Carlton supporter, Lemon, going up the baggers. And there was. And that just tells me the result. You don't need to tell me the score. I just know that they won. That's it. You just see one guy go up the baggers. That's it. They won. Because the lid's off every week. But I tell you what, I was hoping they lost that game because all the hype around Carlton, Blue Abroad would have exploded. The channel would have ended. Like, people would have got on there and it would have been...
If they lost in that manner, got pumped by 40, 50 points. Yes.
You genuinely probably would have seen them crying. You would have seen someone just like yelling and crying on there. Like someone we know who's another supporter of a team.
You know what, mate? This is last year was the building blocks. They've got that belief that they know no matter how much they're down, they have an opportunity to come back. They did it last year, right? In a number of games. And this is the belief. This builds belief in the team. I know. On this show.
All right, because you sat in the cafe with that belief, all right, and it rubbed off on you because you got belief in the Blues now. Because Paddy Cripps was up and about. Now you're up and about. So it's 1 point win. You take it. Win's a win.
Hey, that's a big win. Brisbane Lions up at the Gabba. Not too many teams can do that. And look, Brisbane fans and supporters, I wouldn't be too worried. Like, it is a bit worrying the way you went and lost that game, but played some good footy. I think they're still going to be in a good spot going towards this season. They do, it's a bad loss because the manner that they allowed them to come back from. I think they kicked 8 unanswered goals, 2 in the last 2 in the second quarter, and then I think 6 to start the third quarter, and that got them back in the game. So yeah, look, you got to be better. You got to be able to stem those flows in footy. But yeah, look, it was a phenomenal win. It was a great win by Carlton. Nope.
Well,
where are you?
The 2 talking points. My internet's gone shit here.
You're pixelated as.
So there, my other Wi-Fi is not called Lamont like in Saucy's home, but the 2 talking points that came out of this game were obviously the 2 injuries to the 2 backmen. So Caden Coleman from the Lions and Sam Doherty, unfortunately, again, they've both gone down with ACL injuries in the first round, which is so unfortunate for them because they are key critical players in those football sides. So wishing them all the very best in their recovery. It's just terrible to have that happen to anyone.
It's terrible. You go a whole preseason and first round, you do your ACL, there goes your whole season.
Yeah, it's terrible. It is. It really is. Welcome, Card Hour, Coastal Sports Pod, and Andrew to Instagram as well. Next game, mate. It put a smile on my face to have done a preseason review and have the Tigers come out and get absolutely pantsed in the first half, and I laughed because. They scored 60 points, and it's like they pretty much were even in the second half of this game. But you don't need to go full ball Sauce when you're up 57-6. The game's finished. They actually dominated them. And you watched this game. You saw bits and pieces.
Hey, honestly, I think Richmond is lock bottom 4. Lock. They can have their guys come back, but I'm telling you, it's, Dusty's not the same player. Yeah, Tom Lynch is going to get you some goals, but their ball use going forward was terrible. They got, just their pressure. It's not the Richmond that we knew, pressure football, hard at the ball. There's just none of that.
That's what I told you, Sauce.
Just lackluster.
I told you, Sauce. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? And I told everyone. I said Damien Hardwick got up and left an old side to go to the exact same team. All right? Bulls in the middle, Matty Rao, Noah Anderson. He's gone to Richmond 7 years ago where all those guys that are good are young. So it's the exact same team. So if he puts the same game plan with all those talented guys, they got King up forward, which is like their Rewalt. They got great defenders out back. They got Powell. They got who's the other one? Lukosius playing out back. In the middle, they got Rao, Anderson, Took Miller. They got Wits. You know, it's the exact same team. That's what I was trying to say to people. It's the exact same team where he can play that high pressure brand of football. It's just they're not going to run out of tank like all the older aging guys did at Richmond. I'm not saying they're going to win a flag. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he's got the perfect building blocks. He's not inheriting a Trent Cotchin, which is Matty Rao. He's not inheriting who else is an older guy that they had in the midfield. Like, well, another example, he's a Prestia, always injured. That's okay. We've got Noah Anderson. He's always there. You got Took Miller. Yeah, he had one injury last year. That's a whatever. But then you had like Ivan Maric in those teams when they were winning premierships. They got Wits. Wits is 10 times the ruckman of Ivan Maric. They got King. Like, that team is so good. They got good small forwards. They got freaking Bailey Humphrey. Like, they got good players. They got Flanders. Flanders is a freak.
He's loving the weather up there as well.
He's loving the weather. And people in Gold Coast are putting up the dusty signs. But you don't want him. I'm telling you don't want him.
You don't.
You don't. Not that you don't want him, because you do want him. You don't need him.
You don't need him. Exactly.
You don't need him.
When you got this fine, man here, Rao getting 20 clearances, why the hell do you need Dustin Martin?
You don't need him. Simple as that. Mate, they dominated.
Locked bottom four.
They won by 39 points. Thanks for coming. Next one, GWS. They look fantastic against the Pies. They get the job done 114-82. Pies, poor kicking. It is what it is. You got to kick goals to win games. They didn't, and they lost this one by 32. The Giants,
but also great. Poor skills, mate. Like seeing, Nick Dacos taking on a 20-meter kick into the middle. It's bread and butter for him every day of the week. Kicks it over the guy's head by 2 meters. It was just, it looked, they were just looked a little bit scrappy. It's all right, guys. You'll be fine. Your mojo back. They'll be fine. Yeah. GWS, they look aside. They look, I think they're building on from last year. People didn't think they were going to be good last year. They surprised everyone. I think, people need to, teams need to obviously not take them light because they, have the serious potential to maybe even push for a top 4 spot this season.
Correct. Well, they were $350 to win the flag, as you said on the show. GWS. All right, let's get to the games this week, Source. Round 1. There's no more opening round, which was a piece of crap. Why aren't all the games up on the website?
I hope they don't do that again.
Can someone tell me why all the games are not on the website? What is going on? Here we go. Let me just get this up.
That's why you always go to Footy Wire, mate.
Let's go, Source. Round 1. Carlton, Richmond. Not even a question here.
Carlton.
Collingwood, Sydney, MCG.
Collingwood.
I'm going to go Collingwood as well. So we're going Carlton each, Collingwood each. Essendon, Hawthorn. Oh, ring-a-ding-ding at the G.
Well, the Dons are in trouble. No Ridley, no Darcy Parish, both out. 2 of our best players, if you ask me. So, mate, look, I'll pick the Dons, but that's with no confidence. That is with zero confidence.
I'm going the Hawks.
That is with zero confidence.
Just for fun. GWS versus North Melbourne.
GWS.
Come on. It's not even a question. It'd be good to see my mob go out there and have some fun. And Magda will be up and about too, watching our Roo boys.
Is that a Sunday game, is it?
Yeah, Saturday, 4:35. 4:35.
Cracking time.
That's a cracking time. I got a preseason game at 12, so I'll be able to get home just for the bounce. So I'll be ready to go to watch my mob with Fisher and Wardlaw, LD Sue.
Is he full squad? Injuries? Got any injuries?
Oh, we've got a few injuries. Griffin Lowe. We got a few guys, but doesn't matter. We'll be all right. We just get through this week, and we'll see how we go after that. Geelong, St Kilda.
Geelong.
It's a big one for Geelong, actually. I'm going Geelong also. Suns, Adelaide.
Oof. In Adelaide, I'll have to go. If it's in Adelaide, I'll go.
No, it's in at the Gold Coast.
Gold Coast Suns.
I'm going to go Adelaide. I'm going to buy into the hype. I'm going to buy into it. They keep telling me they're here. I'm going to buy into it. Might as well. They look pretty good in patches last year. Rashali should be a lot better this season. Again, Rankin should be unbelievable this year because he's seen another year, like a year in their system. They should be very good. So we'll see. We'll see how that pans out. D's versus Dogs at the G.
I'm going to go with the D's, but I don't know why. But yeah.
I'm buying into the Dogs as well. Fuck it.
Yeah, I think people are underestimating the Dogs.
I'll buy into them. Let's go. We've got the Bont, my boy. Port Adelaide, West Coast.
Port Adelaide. Be good to see Harley Reid first game.
Be good. The North Melbourne #1 pick. Be good.
Should have been North.
Fremantle versus Brisbane.
Brisbane Lions
in Perth.
Yeah, I'll take Brisbane.
I'm going Brisbane also. There you go. Locked in sauce. And before we finish, as Jules said up here, everybody's Supercoach team died after that. He's talking about when Coleman and Doherty got injured. If you tuned into the live, as you did, Jules, when you told me to put Kitty Coleman in the team, what did I say?
He's only played one good game.
Thank you very much. All right. So we did put him in the team. So I was not panicking at all. All right. We don't panic here at double coverage. That's for sure. I know it's a community team, but that was one piece of advice I was definitely not listening to. So. That's overruled. Nope. That's out. So if you didn't tune in, here is the community side. This is your team. You can make the changes. I do have to go in here and fix up just getting the proper rookies going into tomorrow. So don't stress. I'll fix all that up. But in all honesty, based off what we picked, we actually weren't too bad. Based on, I know the scores didn't count. Like Gipkus, he's there for money. 76. Salem, 93. It was a good pick. Dacos, 131. Goulden was terrible, so he's going to go down in value. But the loophole is we can actually get rid of Goulden to avoid the price dump because he scored terrible. Anderson, saucy suggestion, 122 in there. Gorn struggled, 72. Grundy, 139. And then the forward line. Caleb Windsor, the rookie, 58. Alex Sexton, who was coming back from injury, 73. So looking okay. This team so far. These are just for price.
How much is Goulden? 622.
Yeah, we might as well get rid of him because he's going to go down in value because he scored a 77. With his break even, he'll go down massively. So to recoup on cost, we can actually probably trade him out and get someone else in. That's a premium. And maybe make a bit more money to put somewhere else into this team. So that's a suggestion. We're going to work this shit out.
League code, another shout out. Obviously, we've still got spots in the league. If you haven't got a team, join the team. Join the league. Go to Leagues, Doma. There it is.
Oh no, it's full.
It's full.
I'm
don't
not
tell
sure
me they just. Don't tell me they just filled it up with
I hope not. I hope not.
That would be annoying.
Oh, I reckon because we don't know a Sharon.
Ah, come on, man. Why would they do that to us? They haven't even played head-to-heads yet, these peanuts.
What the hell? This isn't the league. It's a public league. What the F is this shit? Oh no, it's put me in a public league. Don't worry, just ignore it. This isn't the actual account source.
Oh, it's a different one. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you put the community team in that league?
That's probably why it hasn't come up because I haven't put it in.
All right. Well, you better put it in the league, mate.
I'll give the shout out anyway. I've got it
You've got it
saved here. And I'll join it right now anyway, live on the show for everyone that's in attendance. It is 679-278. That is, here it is, 679-278. Right there. There it is. And we're in. Double coverage 24. Let's get in there. Let's see how many we got. We have 12.
12. Come on. Fill it up. Fill it up.
I'm telling you, Global is not in here. So
Global, why aren't you in there, mate?
Is that you? Global. Butters has to be in the team, says Global. All right, well, we'll get rid of
Zach Butters.
We can make that happen, mate. It's as easy as a click of a button here, mate.
Get rid of Gordon. I don't mind that one. Butters dominates. Or Rosie.
We'll do it right now, live on the show, and then we've got to move on because we're running out of time. All right, let's go. Live on the show.
Trade.
Making trades on the show live. All right, I can run through the next segment if you want. It's going to be that quick. You know where I'm going with it. Where is he? Butters. He's going to cost us more, but we've got the money. We can afford it.
We've got the money. Put it in. Put him in.
Bang. Done.
Global says he's in there. All right, good. That's what we like to hear.
As long as you're in there, Global, we like it. All right, done. Sorted. I'll fix up the rookies. I'll post the team every week. We can run through if we want changes. Done and dusted. Let's move on, Source. We had another Grand Prix, Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. I'm not even going to go through the top 10. I don't care where anyone finished, to be honest. Max Verstappen won by 13.5 seconds. What can I say? Season's over. Moving on. EPL preview and review. This is where we're going. Seriously, I'm not even going to waste my time and everyone else's time. The biggest talking point out of it is probably going to be a Mercedes next year. So just look very, very closely at that. I'm being serious.
Could be a Mercedes.
He'll sacrifice. Yeah, I reckon he's gonna sacrifice a year of his driving to go to Mercedes, and Mercedes is apparently the leading team in the development of the new power units coming in 26. So he could genuinely go there and just win another 8 titles in a row if they become as good as when Lewis Hamilton was there.
Jeez.
It could become a joke. He could actually win 10 world championships. He's already got 4 because he's won this year. It's already over. Seriously, it's finished. Let's move on. Results. Premier League results.
Is United. There a race this weekend, or is there?
No, the next race is next weekend. It's the Australian Grand Prix. Yep.
Australian Grand Prix, yes.
Yeah.
Thought so.
Man United defeated Everton 2-0. We look very convincing in this game. No chance. A couple of pens. As Saucy did see him. It was 2 of the worst challenges in the box you will ever see. Absolute lemon defending. So we got the win. I'll take a win. Win's a win. Wolves beat Fulham 2-1. Palace Luton 1-1. Bournemouth Sheffield 2-2. Arsenal beat Brentford 2-1. Tottenham defeated Villa 4-0. West Ham Burnley 2-2. Brighton Nottingham 1-0. Liverpool and City play out a draw, which is great for Gunners fans. Yes, and then Chelsea defeated Newcastle 3-2.
Liverpool should have won that game, Doma. They absolutely dominated in the second half. When I mean dominated, it was just... And Luis Diaz, if the bloke could finish, mate, he could have had 2 goals. It just... I don't know. They should have won. He missed a one-on-one with the keeper about the 63rd minute or something where he kicked it. Didn't just kick it wide. He kicked it about 3 meters wide of the goal. A one-on-one with the keeper. It was a terrible finish. Liverpool should have won, but thankfully for Arsenal, they drew, and that's the perfect result for us. So maybe it's our year. I don't know. I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch.
You just gotta week by week, game by game.
Well, the next game. If you go through the next games, Doma, it's massive fixture.
Here we go. Fixtures. 14th. What's today? Tomorrow morning. Bournemouth Luton 6:30. Get around that one. That's a ripper. The Arsenal Chelsea game, it says here, is postponed.
Yes.
We got Burnley Brentford on the 17th. Palace Newcastle was postponed. Luton Nottingham on the 17th. Man United Sheffield is postponed. Wolves Bournemouth postponed. Everton Liverpool postponed. Brighton Man City postponed. So the only other games we have are Tottenham, Fulham, and West Ham, Aston Villa. So it's a pretty short round.
And the next fixture for Arsenal and City is they're versing each other at the Etihad, which I think
huge.
That
is huge.
Yeah. So
it's probably easier to do it this way. Current standings, Saucy, right here. Eddie's tied at the top.
Well, those games where we kicked a lot of goals, could come in handy, Doma.
There it is.
7 goals clear on goal difference.
Let's just look from here, mate, because no one cares about United. They've got no chance of making top 5. There it is. Tottenham still has to play Liverpool and Man City, so they have to do you a favour in one of those games.
And Arsenal, I think.
Oh, as well.
I think we play them as well. Yeah.
Well, they might as well kick some own goals when they play you, and then try and get some results against the other 2 teams. Card Hour, Vincent, welcome. He says, give it to the Gunners.
Oh, please.
Positive says, you never walk alone. Haaland to get 6 goals against Arsenal.
Mate, Haaland didn't even get a sniff against Liverpool. VVD had him in his pocket.
Boom. All right, let's get to some of the results from the Champions League. Arsenal Porto 2-0. Good win there for Arsenal. And Barcelona defeated Napoli 3-1.
Well, it was 1-0, and then we won on penalties.
Oh, okay. Sorry. There you go. Fixtures coming up.
Games tomorrow morning, I believe.
Atletico Inter and Dortmund versus PSV. Those are tomorrow morning. It's sad to say, but the SPL won't be covered now for the rest of their season because it's over. I've made a judgment call, and Al Hilal are champions of Saudi Arabia. So congratulations to them. I'm calling it probably 7 games early, but it's over. They got 4 games clear of Al Nassr, and you know me, Source. I watch Al Nassr, and Al Nassr is nowhere near Al Hilal in terms of the way they play. They actually play great football.
What was the stat you told me before about Al Hilal?
They've won 28 consecutive games. It is the most in the history of football. Consecutive,
yes, that right.
one consecutive, not result. 1. 28
not
games
unbeaten 28 games, you should say. Not unbeaten.
Yeah.
They've won 28 games in a row.
Yeah.
Meaning
no draws in there.
3 points.
Full 3 points for 28 games in a row. And now, as Saucy said before we got on here, he said, Doma, you're on the money. They're going to win the Saudi League. And he said they're also going to win the Asian Champions League.
Yeah.
And I know everyone bagged Ronaldo.
He had this morning as well.
I know everyone bagged Ronaldo during the week. He missed the sitter. I get all that stuff. But Saucy can attest to this, all right? Because I spoke to him 2 weeks ago when they actually made it through to Al Ain. And I said to Saucy, I don't give a shit what any team does in this competition. Not one of these teams is beating Al Hilal. Not one. I don't care if Al Nassr play him in the final. They're not beating him. They can't beat him in the Saudi League to try and catch them. You reckon they're going to beat him in the Asian Champions League? Give me a spell, bro. They've got no chance. No chance. So that game was a crazy game too, that Al Ain game. Ronaldo did score the pen, got him back into it. I know he missed one, but he did get him back into the game, which is pretty much it. He did score his pen in the penalty shootout, and then the 3 other imports missed them all. So what can you do?
He did his part.
He did his part. He actually did. And they were down, and they had to kick all these goals.
They were down 3-0, and they came back and got it to penalties. So that was a feat in itself.
It was a great game.
He had an absolute peanut with a double-footed challenge, red card.
Oh,
it was a double foot off the ground and studs up into the guy's gut. It hit the guy in the gut.
He's an idiot. He's a limb. All right, let's move on. That's it there. Let's get it all moving, and we're on to UFC Source.
Oh, and what a massive card it was over the weekend. UFC 299, headlined by Suga Sean O'Malley and Cheeto Vera. It was a massive card. It was a gigantic card. But before we get into that, make sure you head over to www.rollclean.com.au and get yourself some of the finest soap in the business. They got the beard oil, the Boost Balm, the magnesium bath salts. They've got you covered for all your hygiene needs. Use the code double coverage at checkout for 20% off your first order. Doma, it was a massive card, $2.99. Suga Sean O'Malley, he was just put on an absolute clinic in that main event. he just put on a clinic. I'll talk about it when we get to it, but I'll just run through a few results. Honorable mention, Mikael Pereira got the submission in the first round over Mikael Ozhinku. This was on the early prelims. So just honorable mention, Mikael Pereira is an absolute jet. Watch out for him. He's coming up in the middleweight ranks. I think he will eventually at some point could contest for a title. He's an up-and-comer. In the heavyweight division, Robels Disabiyang from Cuba knocked out Josh Parsons in the first round, 18 seconds into the fight. That was a crazy knockout. Make sure you go check that out if you haven't. And then on the prelims, honorable mention, Matias Gamrot defeated Rafael Dos Anjos in the lightweight division. And then Curtis Blades defeated Yalton Almeida with a KO. The big heavyweight. That was a cracking fight. Almeida was actually on top in that. It was in wrestling and doing well, but Curtis was able to get the knockout. It was actually a pretty nice knockout the way he executed it. And then the main card, this card was huge, Dom. It was a cracking card.
It was crazy.
Petey Yan defeated Song Yadong bantam in the bantamweight. Petey Yan got the decision over 3 rounds. Then the welterweight, I actually thought, obviously this is definitely Jack Della Mandolina's hardest opponent he's ever faced in Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns is winning this fight through 2 rounds. And in the 3rd round, with 1:30, Gilbert Burns had Jack Della Mandolina on the ground, grappling him. And I thought, that's it. He's been outworked. Gilbert's taken him down like 7 times already in this fight, wrestled him. Put a bit of ground and pound on him. He's probably done enough to win the fight. 1:30 to go. I'm like, Gilbert's just going to hold him here and, the fight's going to end. Gilbert had made a mistake. Jack Della Mandolina was able to get out. He slipped out with about 1:10 to go. As he slipped out and got to his feet, Gilbert Burns has straight away shot for another takedown. As he shot for the takedown, Jack Della Mandolina's come with a striking knee straight to the head. That's dazed Gilbert Burns, and then it was all over from there. Jack Della Mandolina finished the job with some, ground and pound, hammer fist, got the TKO in the end in the 3rd round. Obviously, credit to Jack Della Mandolina because, he's number 11 ranked in the welterweight. He just beat number 4. So I've got to say, that probably puts him, that might even bump him up 3-4 spots. He might end up being the top 8, top 7, beating a guy that much higher ranked than you. So credit to him. Jack Della is the real deal. I think it's time to, start cheering him on as an Aussie. He's an up-and-comer. He has a chance in that welterweight division to do some special things. And he probably has the best striking in that division, if you ask me. His striking is unbelievable. Then we had the welterweight MVP Michael Venom Page against Kevin Holland.
Told you to watch this guy, bro.
Got the decision over the distance, and let me tell you, it was an absolute masterclass. Hey, I'm just telling you, ladies and gentlemen, whenever Michael Venom Page, I've never watched him fight because, I don't really watch Bellator and watch the other organizations. I actually started watching a bit of PFL because I found out it was actually on Stan, and I've got Stan for the Champions League. So I've been watching a bit of PFL, but Bellator I don't really watch. When his name's on the card, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you watch because he's one of the most unique fighters I've ever seen. The way he stances, the way he does things, he's lightning quick. When I mean lightning quick, he was throwing these punches, getting in and out, and by the time he'd thrown 1-2 and Kevin Holland had gone to throw the counter, he was nowhere to be seen, and Kevin Holland was swinging at fresh air. In the 3rd round, Kevin Holland was cracking the shits, like mocking MVP, because MVP is just all about ring movement. The way he uses the octagon, the way he just circles around, gets in and out. Oh, just beautiful to watch. A very unique style. I've never seen anything like it in the MMA ring. So he's one to watch. I think he could do special things in this welterweight division.
Did you hear what he said? He goes, give me one more fight because I need to ease into the UFC. And then he said, just give me Leon Edwards. That's what he said. He just goes, I just need one more fight to just get into the swing of things. And then he goes, just give me Edwards.
Oh, mate, look.
Straight up, he's just like...
Holland. He dominated him. Obviously he's taken a guy 13 rank in his first fight. Like, who the hell does that? First fight in the UFC, you rank the 13th. You're fighting the 13th ranked That's unheard of. And he dominated him, Dom. He beat him in 3 rounds, and it was a pure domination. It killed him, right? Then we had the lightweight bout, Dustin Poirier against Benoit Saint Denis. I said to you, ladies and gentlemen, this Benoit bloke he hadn't faced anyone as good as the Diamond in Dustin Poirier. And Poirier showed him who's boss with them diamond hands, gave him the left, right, good night. Benoit Saint Denis knocked out. He was out cold. Great fight by Dustin Poirier. He was on the ropes in the first round, and Saint Denis had him a bit wobbly. But, mate, Poirier has a chin. He came back and knocked him out with a left hook that was just good night. Left hook, one hammer fist to the face, and he was out lightweight. So Dustin Poirier probably gets a title shot next, if you ask me, in that lightweight division. He's probably, give him the title shot. He deserves it. Then you have Suga Sean O'Malley in the main event against Marlon Vera. He was out to prove a point. We know how the first fight happened. Marlon Vera, obviously, with a leg kick, hit him in the nerve in his ankle, what made his ankle give out. And then, he, obviously, got injured and, he lost it on a TKO. Came back. Man, he's a sniper. He's a sniper, Dom. He's so fast. He was hitting Vera with 5 shots before Vera could even get him with 1. Like, it was just clinical. And it's so funny because so many people hate this guy. But on Double Coverage, we love this guy.
We love this guy, man.
I've been talking about him since the start of this show. See, 3 years I've been talking about this guy.
Yes, we love this guy, man.
I haven't just followed this guy just because, he's the champion now or, he's right up in the top 5, man. I've been talking about him since he was outside the top 10. He wasn't even ranked, right? I've been talking about this guy. That's how good he is. And I knew one day he would be the champion. And I'll tell you what, it'll be an interesting fight. The next fight, he called out to Poirier. I don't want to see that fight. Murab obviously deserves his title shot. I think that will be an interesting fight. Obviously, Murab's got great, ability to take guys down. Sean O'Malley, even though, we don't sort of know his ground game, he's not that easy to take down. We've seen that with Aljamain. Aljamain tried to take him down. He was able to
knock the fuck out.
And then he got knocked out, right? So, look, say what you want about Sean O'Malley. He's got the crazy hair. He lets other men bang his wife. He does all these crazy things, right? He's a killer. And he's lightning quick in that ring, right? He's lightning quick in that ring, right? It was a great fight. It was a great fight from Sean O'Malley's point of view. He also threw this knee to Marlon Vera's head, right? Marlon Vera must have concrete in his head. Like, honestly, he must have concrete in that head of his because he took that much damage. How he wasn't knocked down, and the fact that he still has never been knocked down or knocked out in the UFC is unbelievable. Like, the guy has concrete in his head. But it was a massive card, $299. It was a great one. Like, it was a great card. When I watched that at my mate's house, and we were just yelling and screaming at the TV. It was unbelievable. This weekend, Doma, we have a card. It's headlined by none other than our guy, Bam Bam Tuivasa, against Martin Tybura in the heavyweight division. We know that someone's going to get knocked out in that. The co-main event is Brian Battle against Ange Alusa in the welterweight, and then Vince St. Preux against Kennedy Nowinchkun, and I won't go through the rest of the card. But that kicks off from 10 a.m., the main card, and then the prelim card kicks off from 7 a.m. So make sure you check that out. That will be a free one on obviously the ESPN. It's usually on, so make sure you check that one out this weekend.
Beautiful Sauce. Beautiful. Welcome, Manny. It's come to that time, Sauce. Just under an hour, hobby talk time. We just got to get through a few things. 1 or 2 things, and then I'm throwing it to you. We're going to finish on the Le Mans, of course. You saw something put out from South Park Cards. You put something out that you wanted to talk to.
It was an interesting point. Obviously, it was you're scrolling through, looking through people's stories, and he made a very interesting point about obviously, the licenses that, that Panini's going to not have anymore, and they're going to have licensing agreements coming off their books, meaning freeing up cash flow, and what this could mean for Panini going forward, what this means for potentially Fanatics and Topps going forward. So he goes on to say, I think one thing Fanatics has underestimated is the pushback from other companies. Who's to say when Topps gets the NBA license, Panini doesn't exclusive Cooper Flag, who must be a number one pick or a high pick that's coming up in the NBA. Potentially a lot of reverse Wemby and Stroud situations. Panini is going to have a lot of licensing expenses come off the books, which can be allocated to individual athletes. And, he mentions here, obviously, Fanatics and Topps doing their Topps Now Wemby autos, selling out at 2,500 per auto. So in total of about 600K plus of Wemby autos, which are non-licensed sold. What's to say that Panini doesn't go down that route and, do the same thing what Fanatics has done in this instance with Wemby, with Stroud, with Scoot Henderson, and with a number of guys, poaching them off, obviously, Panini, in essence, who has the license currently. Maybe Panini will do the reverse to Fanatics. It opens up a can of worms. It's shit for collectors, if you ask me, because you're going to get guys who, you want to have their rookie autos, and they're not going to have rookie autos with the logos. You're just going to have to buy a non-licensed rookie auto that will have the RC logo. But, as we know, the RC logo is everything, Doma. If it ain't have the RC, it ain't a real rookie, right? As a lot of people like to reference. So it'll be interesting to see how this whole thing plays out. I was having another chat with someone about this today, and a very a person with a lot of knowledge in this hobby. And, I mentioned this to him and I said, don't you think that Panini will go this route and do this sort of thing and do what, like what I just mentioned. And he goes, yeah, they may, but you need to remember that Panini made their bread and butter in stickers, right? And in stickers, you can just keep the printing presses on. So maybe they use their newfound, money that's going to free up from licensing that's going to come off the books, and they go after other licenses like Marvel and Disney and things like that, where you can just keep the printing presses on because you don't actually have to pay any individual athlete. You don't have to pay Mickey Mouse for his auto. You just print a facsimile auto and make it a short print, and you keep the printing presses on, and you make a shit ton of money. And it's probably a more what would we just say? It's a more, in terms of business,
it's more cost effective.
Exactly. That's what I was looking for. It's more cost effective for Panini. And in essence, will actually make the bottom line of their company better. So what does Panini do? We don't know. It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. But yeah, it was definitely something that got me thinking from South Park Cards. So obviously shout out to him. That got the process, the thinking juices flowing. And that's where I posed that question to this person who's been in the hobby for 20 plus years, and who's very influential in this space here in Australia. I posed it to him, and that was his answer. So it gave me another thing to think about. So just posing that to you guys, what do you think Panini will do in this instance? Will they go that route of signing individual athletes, trying to poach, say it's the top 10 picks of the NBA draft? Maybe they try go after number 3 or number 2. Maybe they try go after number 5, number 6. Maybe they try get the number 12 pick. You know what I mean? They poach a few guys, and they do the same in the NFL, and they do the same, in other sports or whatever it is. So really interesting to see. What are your thoughts, Doma?
I think it makes sense. It makes sense for them. They're going to have to do something. They're going to have to pivot massively. And like you said, they did come from the roots of stickers. And it took, a year into the boom for people to start looking at Panini stickers as actual cards. Remember, like, oh, it's a card. And we laughed at people on this show. We gave people a lemon, actually, for that. So I think it's probably the right move in trying to take those licenses and try and get that stuff going. So, like, Jono says Panini might print Prism Disney cards. He said Prism Marvel. Well, honestly, like if they did stuff like that, it'd be unbelievable. The only problem with that is like getting those license. Topps has a Disney license. Like they got the top, they make Topps Chrome Disney. So it might be a bit difficult. But I don't see why not, because you got like
Disney's smart enough to not narrow themselves. I mean, they've got a license with Kakawao, and Kakawell's not even related
they do
to
spread it a bit. But
exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. We just got to wait and see what happens and how it pans out. And it's going to start shaping up towards the end of this year, and of course next year as we lead into 26. That's when we're going to start seeing the most changes, and we're going to start seeing decisions made, and we're going to see if Panini buys up stuff, sells stuff, if they get bought. Who knows? I don't think Panini actually get bought because they're such a big company, but you just got to wait and see what they do and where they go. So they might go down the cricket route. I don't know. Topps are doing a good job with that too. That's the problem. So, like Topps is doing a good job with a lot of these products. So, biggest growing sport. Yep, 100%. Source. The last two are just a lot of fun. So I don't know if you want to rip some product now before we get into losing the plot.
I picked up this starter deck today. So all right, we'll rip this.
Let's rip it. Let's see what you get. I'm going to make yourself big. Let's have a crack. It's the new Footy Stars, 2024 Footy Stars, with the price hike that Magda loves so dearly, that Selective put on the product this year. Global said, I can't wait to see Panini have more next day no autos.
Chad Warner. Well, that person did mention and say that, Panini has been building up to this over years, by, making the Kaboom and the Downtown and all these other kits that have no autos on it, the blank slates and all that sort of stuff to build up to this day when they do, creating these chase cards, that people love so much in this hobby, right? So that was another fair point.
Yeah.
Yep. All that stuff. All right, we've got 3 packs, ladies and gentlemen. I feel that there is absolutely jack shit in here, but let's hope there is.
I want a big bang. I want you to lose your shit. That's what I want, because it's only going to go. It's only going uphill from here.
Well, this is my first look at the cards, Doma. So I'll be.
This will be good. This is what we call a review.
Hang on.
You can trust us here at Double Coverage. You'll see how we handle it. We usually throw cards and rip cards and cut cards and do all types of shit.
Oh,
no.
There we go. Jared Berry.
Yep. Choked in the granny.
Adam Sard.
Yep.
Carl
Kobo
Amon,
Boy.
Dane
Climbed the post. Oh. What a head.
It couldn't be a better guy with the bald head too.
Have a look at his mug.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That looks nice.
Yeah, so these are just I
just
think
the parallel.
One in those in each pack. Rory Sloane.
Looks good.
Go.
Bags Oliver.
Bags Oliver. Yeah, the base cards are all right.
Cam Guthrie. He's out.
Yeah,
I'm late, but Splendor in the house. Steve, welcome. You're tuning in for the perfect time, Steve. That's all I'm saying.
You're here just
once this product gets ripped, you are going to be loving it.
Perfect time. All right, here we go.
Trim the base. There's
Griffin Lowe, Matty Ryle.
Yeah.
There we go. Cam Guthrie disposals. There you go. That Dan Rioli. That's the disposals. Stat Kings. Like that.
So nice.
There we go. And then we're not going to go through the rest of the base.
Remember when you hit the redemption? Remember when you hit the redemption, the Richmond redemption? Oh man, that was so good.
Sold it. I sold it. I did sell it.
We went absolutely bananas when you did that.
Good few North cards I can give to me North Melbourne, mate. Not you.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I'll buy some of this anyway.
There we go. And then absolutely jack squat.
That's
Anyway,
right. We could look at it.
As we know, Select makes a good product, and one of our friends of the show, Positive, actually, who doesn't know too much about footy, he lives in New South Wales. He picked up a couple packs at his local Kmart, and even said, he goes, "Geez, the quality of the card and the product is really nice." So yeah, they've done it again, Select, in terms of the quality of their print. I mean, just have a look at their base cards. I mean, you have a look at Panini's base cards when they print out stuff, and it's just nowhere near even the quality of these. So they take pride in their delivery of product.
I thought I had the Petrarca card out. Manny goes, Dom, I remember when you hit that $2 card and you thought you were rich.
Yes, that was hilarious.
That was so funny. We've actually hit some big cards. You hit that Sig Redemption, the Richmond one, and then I hit the gold craft card of Nat Nui in our first year of doing the pod. We've actually hit some decent cards. So, yeah, Splende is ripping AFL football footy stars 2024. So it's just
this is just here we go. It's AFL Australian rules football.
Perfect.
Just released. All right, Doma, move on.
Here we go.
Get that out of the way because we know
before we get to the 11 of the week, we got one more story.
I gotta lather up
we're not up to it yet. We're not up to it yet. Because there's one big thing that happened. Not in the hobby. It happened in sport. But it relates to the hobby. And it is probably honestly the greatest story that has happened in the last week. Because as you're about to see, CBS has reported here in this article that I'm about to bring up on the screen.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, that this guy has been traded to be a QB backup to Trevor Lawrence of the Jags. And it's none other than Mac Jones. And the reason why this is being brought up, I hope you all remember the one true king of the hobby. Saucy's idol since coming into this hobby. Not anyone that you can think of that's an influencer. It's not Ken Golden. It's not Bags Shine 150. It's none of those lemons, mate. It is this guy here. Johnny Stones, a.k.a. Johnny Sins of the hobby. And we call him Johnny Sins because he absolutely did the person that sold this card to nicely. So...
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you see that wad of cash there in front of him. He sold this one-of-one Mac Jones, who just got traded to the Jags as a backup quarterback for $100,000 to some lemon that decided to buy that card, who is now a QB that is a backup to Trevor Lawrence.
You got that cash money. Matty Cam's welcome. He says the hobby god. He is. Exactly. He is the hobby god.
Honestly, I've got to get I wanted to get a shirt made, but I just wouldn't feel comfortable having his face. Obviously, he's a kid. You know what I mean?
You could just put his name. Just put a picture of Johnny Sins on there and just say the king of the hobby, Johnny Stones.
I was actually going to put an emoji face, the troll emoji face over the top of it with the cash. You know, the troll emoji?
Oh, that's the best. Splenda said that kid and his dad go to my local Canton card shows from Ohio, the one who pulled the Max 101. A Mac 101. Jules says, I want that kid's autograph. He's my hero.
Steve, if you see him, can you please tell him the boys at Double Coverage love you, and you are our hobby goat. You are our hobby goat.
From Australia. Your message
from Australia.
we'll interview. Yes, we will interview Magda. If you wanted to come on, he's underage. We need to get consent, obviously, from his father or parent. I would even if his father's in on the interview, I would love to just listen to his story. And Saucy would just be loving it because he'd be like, you, sir, are the king of this hobby.
He is the king. He literally fleeced some lemon. And look, the story goes that guy who he sold it to resold it for 125K and made money off it. So the guy he immediately sold it through. Regardless, if some idiot then paid more than the 100K on top of that, you're even a bigger lemon. Do you not understand that? And if someone else bought it on top of that, you're a lemon tree. You're a lemon farm, mate. You're a farm of lemons.
I couldn't believe it. When I saw this story, I couldn't believe it when it initially happened. And we've brought it up about 10 times on this podcast because he is our hobby goat. He's Saucy's hobby hero. If Saucy met him, if Saucy went to the National...
How much is that card worth today? Yeah, answer in the chat. How much is that
Saucy will
card
tell you
worth
what. Saucy will tell you what he really thinks it's worth. But put it in. Lemon fleecing season. I thought this was a phase. Yeah, just like the Brisbane Lions actually winning a flag. That's a phase too. They suck. Yeah. No comment. Yeah, there you go.
Arrow straight through that. Sorry,
I'll tell
Andrew.
you what.
I'm
all over it. I'm fired up because I'm happy. 1K max is Matty Cams, who's into NFL. Fuck you, Tom.
Yes, exactly right, Andrew. Give it to me.
Oh, love it. It's worth a bag of lemons.
A bag of lemons. I love it. Honestly, if I'm dead serious, Doma, I actually don't think that card is worth more than 2.5K. And that's me giving a serious answer. It is not worth more than $2,500. That card is literally down 98%.
Pretty much.
We said it on this show. That was one of the dumbest purchases you could make. That guy had a luck. He lucked out in his first season.
Correct.
Yeah, he had a great first season.
And it wasn't great. It wasn't great. It was good, not great. But they just looked at it like Bill Belichick, next Brady, and they were all G'ing up. Man, this guy's nowhere near. The next Brady plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. That's where you should be watching your football. Don't worry about these. Yeah. Don't worry about these other lemons. Like, this guy's a nothing. Come on, man. Like we said on this show 100 times, count how many Super Bowl winning quarterbacks are currently active in the NFL. All right? Do yourself a favor and count that. And then go from there and work out all the other guys, all the other QBs in the comp. Work it out. And you can go within the last 5 years of non-active quarterbacks are retired in the last 5 years as well. Add them back in there. Put Brady back in there. And just count them. You know what? I reckon you can count them all on two hands. Active and non-active in the last 5 years.
Oh, this is just crazy. Mac Jones, Don Russ base PSA 10 was 2.5K at the peak. It's now $15. Just say no less.
Yeah. The Pamela card I gave you will hold more value, says Global. 100%. 100%. And it's been a while, Sauce. It has been a while.
Here we go. My Terry Lynn auto's got more value than that.
There you go. Splendor said, I made a big boy PC pickup the other night on auction, which was probably Shield. What was it? A Wembenyama Prism Silver or next day no auto? What was it?
No.
Okay. Splendor's not stupid enough to buy next day no auto, especially because he was in the round table chat. So if you did buy one, sorry, but Splendor,
you might have to. You
were there.
You might be getting one of these if that's the case.
Speaking of lemons, Saucy.
All right.
We haven't given a lemon of the week for a while because everyone's been pretty good on their best behavior, doing things, and then you've come across something which you've showed me, which you said is not just lemon of the week. We could have found our lemon of the year. And shout out to Splendor, bought a flawless Kobe KD dual game use patch. Very nice. Congratulations. Beautiful.
That's a nice card.
Very nice. So, Saucy, what do you have for us? I'm so happy for this.
All right, Donna, let me just hang on. I just want to get up. I just want to get up something, first of all, just to say for people, if they haven't seen it, here we go. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have been living under a rock, right? If you have been living under a rock, you may not have seen, but the Victor Wembanyama Prism True 1-of-1 Black was pulled. True means that it's not the shimmer, not the disco, whatever other freaking variants they put in there. It's just the standard black 1-of-1. Victor Wembanyama, probably, arguably, his best rookie card because he's not going to have any. He'll have a logo man, but he'll have no logo man auto. Maybe his flawless logo man 1-of-1 might be up there as his best, possibly. So maybe this is a top 3 rookie card for him. Was recently pulled, and it got graded at PSA, and it got a 10, as you can see. Right,
pretty good.
It got a 10, right? But this is where it gets interesting, Doma. This is where it gets interesting. Whilst it got graded, the people who graded it went to PSA's headquarters.
So they got invited to do the reveal, I'm assuming, because it's a big card.
Yep. It's a big card. Got invited there. And obviously, I'll bring it up now. Shout out ALH Sports, who's
Rahul.
Rahul, thank you. Put this up on his YouTube, so you can check it out. There's the name of the video there. But I'll just play this. Just listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. Just listen to this.
Crazy. The best. Oh, thank you. Holy. Oh, man. Okay. Oh, my goodness, bro. Hey, real quick, though, I want to give a huge shout out to Kurt's Card Care. Kurt, if you're watching this, your product is phenomenal. I lost a word right now.
Yes, you heard that right, ladies and gentlemen. While this man is standing inside the PSA headquarters at Collectors Universe, he is shouting out Kurt's Cum Care for being such a great product, pretty much telling the world that Kurt's Cum Care was used on the Victor Wembanyama 1-of-1. True black. That Victor Wembanyama card has been altered with some sort of foreign substance, which people want to refuse to admit in this hobby, that spraying a foreign substance on a card and wiping it down is not altering, right? Which is bizarre to me in itself. That man there, while inside the headquarters, he thanked Kurt's Cum Care. How dumb can you be? How dumb can you be? You, sir, no-cal cards or whatever the hell non-cards you should just be called. You, sir, are a lemon! Lemon! I can't believe it, Doma. When I watched this, I had to watch it back to make sure I was not seeing, like, I was not misseeing shit or mishearing shit. As you can see, Collector's wallpaper in the background. He's at the PSA headquarters. How? Why would you give Kurt's Cum Care a shout out? Pretty much telling the world that you have altered the card. Why? I don't know, man. That guy's a lemon. Oh, man. That just made me laugh so much. Like, I actually don't care. Do whatever the hell you want. I'm never going to own that card. I've got no interest in buying that Wembanyama card. It doesn't affect my life. But you're a peanut because you're telling people that you have sprayed a foreign substance on that card. Like, how like you're actually a peanut. Like, he's a lemon. He's a peanut. He's an idiot. He's a dickhead. Mate, you're actually stupid. You are actually stupid. I'm just abusing him now because he's that dumb. Bro, you're dumb. You tell everyone that you've done that. Just riddle me that, mate. Riddle me that. I hope you see this, mate. Why would you tell everyone? Just fucking do it and don't tell them. Like,
can you imagine if the PSA? Could you imagine if the?
It's like fucking. Mate, do you think all the cards that OTS Sports has spooned down and fucking trimmed the edges and fixed the corners and done all that shit to has told PSA that he's done it? No, he just graded him and sold it to the next peanut. That's what you should have done, you idiot. Don't tell everyone you fucking altered it. You're a lemon, man. You're honestly a lemon. This is the lemon of the year. This is the lemon of the year. That is one of the biggest cards to come out of the NBA products this year, and you've told everyone you've altered it.
Shouldn't PSA be the lemons? He got the 10, so it doesn't matter how and what he did. Yeah, but now PSA know that it's altered. So technically, if that serial, like it's only a 1-1, you pretty much just say it's an altered card, if they were smart, because he's just revealed to them he altered the card to their face. So realistically, if it was to ever get sold, yeah.
Love it. Tells them after they graded a 10. He is the GOAT. That is pretty funny. That's a funny way to look at it.
Dan made a good video the other day. At least he disclosed he used Kurt's cream. Yeah, PSA are lemons because they love Kurt's cum care being used. Like, we can't give them lemon of the year every second because they're just lemons in general. They're straight out. Like,
PSA is in cahoots with Kurt's cum care because it gets more tens, meaning a higher rate of payment for them because obviously they grade the higher that they, you pay the higher the grade. So more money for PSA. They fucking love it. Of course they do.
That's correct. Source is on the money. That is correct. Oh, I love it. That guy is great. It's just like, it's also great at the same time that he is a lemon because the pure shit housery to just fucking walk into the headquarters and just be like, man, this is the best. Oh my God, look at my card. Oh my God. Oh, and I just want to give a shout out to Kurt's Comcare.
Come on, Doma.
We love your product, Kurt. We love your product. And we love you, Kurt.
We'll take the copyright. We don't give a fuck.
This off is a joke. It's actually become a joke. Honestly, it's a joke, Source. I can't believe what I'm seeing.
I'm sweating so much right now.
So am I. I actually can't believe. Thank God we have the God himself, Johnny Stones. If we didn't have this guy, it'd be over. That's the only hope we have. Young kids smart enough to say we're going to fleece the older bloke that's had 30 years more life experience than me, and he's just turned around and gone, it's Mac Jones. Yeah, there's value like in a piece of cardboard on a PSA and Mickey Mantle 52 tops, but it's like, it's Mac Jones. This guy's shit. That's what Johnny Stones has said. He's gone, this guy's a dud. 100 grand. Shit, yeah. Oh, I love it. I just love it. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, the centering wasn't even 60-40.
I don't know how we're going to top that. I actually don't.
Yeah. I don't know. I reckon there still could be something. There's still a bit of time left in 2024, Source. Who knows? I just can't wait till Discovery and stuff starts coming out for the gold and stuff, the lawsuit and shit. It'd just be funny. There's going to be so much stuff coming out. There'll be some stage where Where's Juanito will come back out because he'll pop his head up somewhere, whether it's Thailand, Cambodia.
Where is Juanito? Everyone's
forgot. We don't forget, man. I'm telling you.
Card porn, where you at, Juan?
As much as we all call him Lemons, he could be the next one that goes down as like as a hobby goat.
Mate, he fleeced everyone and he's gotten away with squillions.
He fleeced Americans. No offense to Americans, Splendor. No offense, but he's literally fleeced them, and because they've been fleeced by someone that has no face, they're able to chase after him when every week they were getting fleeced by Shine and Golden, all these guys doing all these backdoor things, and Kurt's Kumcare and Nat Turner's letting Kurt's Kumcare cards get put through that are altered. OT's trimming cards, like Shillway vlogs, shilling up his cards. And we've got so many of these lemons.
What about the other bloke? What's the other? The max bitter, super bitter.
Yeah, super bitter. Yeah, all these lemons, bro. We got so many of them, and you look past them all to blame the guy on the other side of the planet because he was faceless on an account. And you got nothing on him. You can't actually get to him. Where all the other guys are just sitting there. You can literally go rock up to their doorstep if you wanted to arrest them. And you're just like, oh yeah, it's okay. We're buddies with him again. We'll forget about it after a week. You had bloody Steve Aoki fleeced everyone with Metapoo. He put out this poo product. We could go for days. We could actually go for days.
As soon as we told you it was poo. We told you it was poo. We called it poo from the start. Metapoo.
Global says, I want the Messiah to come on and give his opinion on this. The Messiah doesn't exist anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been explicitly told he's the artist formerly known as the Messiah. He's now known as Griff Wilson. That's what he wants to be known as. You have to call him Grifty. Look at Americans. We're so stupid. Slender. Messiah, oh boy. Jay's a dud. Global. Say sorry to Jay, Manny. Mega Bitty Splender's brother. Can you please do a recap video of all the lemons? That would be hilarious. You have Americans twerking for Joe Biden in lockdowns. Look how soft. Biggest lemon is Doma ditching his co-host. Oh, when I went to Hawaii. Where is Griff Wilson? He's Grifty. He's in Thailand with card porn with Juanito. Oh, on that note, it's 10:30. Go to sleep, ladies and gents, and just I'll play the Kurt's card care to end it because it's just great. So, and one more shout out to the great man himself, the hobby goat. Where is he? Johnny Stones.
You're a legend.
You're a legend. Saucy loves you dearly. You're a gun. Keep living, loving, and breathing sport. It's double coverage, and peace.
Don't forget to like,